Welcome to the Epic Alchemy Podcast, episode 6. I'm your host, Jill Davenport, and today I want to talk about overcomplicating things, overthinking. This is something that I think most of us do. I'm really good at it, and I help my clients to move through that, and I see it. I see it show up in all sorts of ways. Um, but I've noticed that a lot of times it can stop us because we spend so much time trying to figure out, for example, all of the steps before we do step one. We think we need to do so much, and then we don't even see that it's actually just one thing that we want to do right now. I see this all the time when people come to me and they have a project that they want to work on, or they have these just anything that they want to do, and they're thinking through all of the things that they need to do before they get started, when it's really that they just need to do the first step, and that can stop them for a long time. And then after they figured out that they can just take the first step, that they don't need to figure out all the other steps yet. And I've talked about this before, but I want to talk about it in a slightly different angle today. And that angle is about the thought. This is one of my favorite thoughts, one of my favorite questions when things are getting complicated, or we feel like we have so many things to do to make something happen, or it's like, oh, it's so much work. Ask yourself the question, how easy can I let this be? And when you ask that, it just instantly opens up your mind to the possibility that you could actually make things simpler. You could make things easier. And I like to think about a necklace. If you've ever had a necklace chain that's tangled up, like a massive, uh, or a small or a massive. Recently, I had a necklace that was two necklaces, like all four chains, all four sides of the necklaces, of course, and then there was an earring in there too, and it was a mess. Like, it had been that way. They had been in a bag, and they were necklaces that I was getting rid of, and I was trying to detangle them. So they had been in a long time, and they were really fine, uh, small size chains, so they were just really, really tangled. And the thing with when you have a tangled necklace, I like to think of this like with, in terms of something that you're trying to overcomplicate, or that you're overcomplicating. You're not trying to, but you just are. When you're untangling necklaces, you have to relax. You can't rush it. You have to take your time, because I notice when I actually kind of like untangling necklaces, because it's like it's a puzzle. I mean, I'd rather not have to, but I'm like, okay, I can do this. And I just noticed that when I try to rush it, when I'm like, oh, and I get frustrated, then it makes it worse. The necklace gets more tangled, it gets more tense, and it gets tighter. And then it's like, oh, I'm never going to get it out. And you just kind of like start to have a little freak out about it. But it's like, oh no, you got to breathe. You got to loosen up. You got to like loosen your shoulders, and you got to loosen the tension in your hands. And you're just going to like, we're going to be here for a little while. Let's just sit back and like take our time with this. And then as you do that, you start to loosen up the necklaces. And as they get looser, then they get less tangled. And then you start seeing a way out. You start seeing a way that they can open up. And then you get one piece out. And then it's like, oh, I want to like just break it now and get the rest out. But you have to, that's how I am anyway. But um, you have to take your time, even when you see it coming, one piece coming apart, and it's like, oh, here's hope. I've got one piece out, but it's like, you just have to relax. And that's what happens when we're trying to, or we're seeing like too many things to do. If we can just relax and look at it, and I let this be easy, then things start to loosen up like those necklaces. And one of the most common things that I coach my clients on is them overthinking and overcomplicating something, whether it's communication with someone or relationship boundaries, moving forward on their work, or showing up and being visible. We can think of it has to be done this way, and I have to do it this many steps, and they're not going to respond the way that I want them to, and we can just go around in circles. And when we relax, it's like our everything else relaxes with us, like how we approach it. The thing that we're approaching also like has this reciprocal relaxation energetically, because it's responding to us. So when we can say, how easy can I let this be? Or how simple can I let this be? Then everything just opens up and there's more possibility. We can overcomplicate anything. And some things aren't simple. Some things aren't. They're not simple. But if we lean into the question, how easy can I let this be? It opens up the possibility for it to loosen the tension and to see it in a different way. And this is it is just one of my favorite questions. So that's what my upcoming workshop is about, the reset. It's coming up next week. If you are watching this in current times, but if you're not, this is what it's about. I might host another one, who knows, or I might post a replay in the notes later. But that's what the reset is based on. It's about getting grounded, getting centered, feeling calm, and maybe playful, because that's how you open things up and that's how you get things moving, not with force and not with tension, but with loosening up and trying different angles. And we want to do it in a way that creates aligned aligned action and not a lot of unnecessary steps that just keep us from getting what we want, because when we're forcing and we're tense, we're going to create problems for ourselves that maybe we don't have. But if we can just relax, get centered, get calm, then things start to open up and you start to see new possibilities, and you can play with what you're creating or what you're trying to move past and untangle. And that's what I want for you. So if you'd like to join me at the reset, I'll post the sign up link in the notes, and it's a free workshop that we're going to be gathering online and talking about ways to ground and center. I'm going to be sharing one of my favorite tools for balancing the nervous system, for getting calm in any situation. It's great for when you're talking to someone, doing a meeting, or whether you're going live or you're doing a video or anything like that. And yeah, it works very quickly and effectively. And I'm going to be doing some other cool things on there too with participants. And I really hope you can join me and see if you can think about anything that you're working on and ask yourself the question, how easy can I let this be? And see what opens up for you. Okay, that's what I got for you today, and I'll see you next time.